Hello, sports fans. Dr. Palermo with the Week 7 video for the EDCI 700 Charlotte cohort CZ. Hello. It is Tuesday, October 9th, and I have been reading your OA introductions and providing some formative feedback, which means there's a big goose egg, a zero there, no score for those things. But if you click on the document that you have submitted, I will have made comments on there as well as providing a little bit of a comment and feedback in the grading portion of the Blackboard. So look for OA feedback. If you've submitted it already, I have given feedback on those things. I've been reading your other posts as well and enjoying those. The circle, square, triangle thing seemed to resonate with some of you, and I think that some of you are incorporating your text well in terms of using the concepts, the models from the textbooks to think about the organizational analysis. And there should be lots of overlaps happening. I noticed that this week's chapter in Morgan is culture, the organization through the cultural lens. Well, you just read Gruner and Whitaker's rewiring school culture. So again, there should be plenty of overlap and things, lots of ideas should be circling around in your head right now. So if you created a visual, and you did not have to, the circle, square, triangle is a protocol that's used to that's used for learners to process lots of information or deep and complex ideas. It's acknowledging through metacognition that when you're bombarded with lots of new ideas or deep and big ideas to think about, some of it is going to square with your thinking right away. Some of it's going to line up with your lens and your way of seeing the world, and that's going to, aha, yeah, I get that. Some things are going to be circling around when you're done reading. They may not square with your thinking. It may be a concept that takes longer for you to grasp, and if that's still circling around in your head, that's the idea. You're still processing that information. And sometimes we want to read so that we can make a change and an improvement in our organization. And the idea of the triangle, the delta, which means change in Greek, is to think, okay, I've read this now, I know this new information now, how am I going to take that back to my practice and improve what I do every day as a result of that new information? So the circle, square, triangle, which you did not have to put into a visual, is a way to process information. If you did put it into a visual and you want to save and cut and paste that over, this week I'm asking you to respond to most likely to succeed using that circle, square, triangle. Anything in there that squares with your thinking, you do not have to have multiple examples, but provide your colleagues with some dialogue, with some things to think about and talk about here. So that's the Week 7 dialogue on most likely to succeed. I've closed the Morgan on cultural metaphor. I do want you to know that our new dean, Dr. Prince Bull, is very open and interested in hearing what you have to say, and he's scheduled what will be the first of several regular meetings on October 24th, 7 p.m. And you can zoom in with Dr. Bull by clicking that link. And you may have to download a little bit of software, but it's free for you if you want to Zoom with Dr. Bull and tell him what you're thinking. Apparently that's a wide open format, and he's just interested to know what students in the program are thinking. The OA. I made a comment to enough of you that I think it bears speaking to the whole group about it. Think about your audience, please, and the voice as you begin the overview or beginning portion of these large documents. Think about who you're writing for. You're writing for me, of course, but in a perfect world, you're writing for the leadership team, perhaps the school board, perhaps policymakers in your school or your district or your area who need this data, who may be interested in this data and the recommendations that you're going to make as a result of this data. So don't assume folks know, for instance, PESEL and POSSL and SWATs. you need to explain what those kinds of tools are. They're going to be first-hand terms for you, but you need to explain to someone what that is. And in general, you were writing, this is scientific writing, just the facts, ma'am, though, with your narrative. Sometimes your opinion or the I voice does creep in there, but generally speaking, we're talking about scientific reports, and assume that your audience is someone making decisions. So you want to try to convince them through the data and your recommendations about some decisions that they might be making. Write for that audience and do not assume that folks understand what a pestle is. Explain what those kinds of things are. Often in the past, when I've had students who have a hard time thinking about the voice, I asked if it would pass the 7-Eleven test. I'm not sure there even are any 7-Elevens in North Carolina, but if you were to take this report to the Grocery Boy Jr. and stop a random sample of customers exiting the Grocery Boy Jr., could they read and understand what you've written? It needs to be written at a level where the average citizen can understand it, okay? Some of you are in over your head in terms of describing really technical stuff, so bring it down to earth. And if you want to see one that I liked and think is good in terms of voice, ask Kelly Passamore to, if you have permission to look at her introduction of her OA. Kelly, good job on the OA overview. It's overview. I've been calling it introduction, but it's that first section where you're describing the purpose and rationale and your team. CNA is what you're going to load this week for formative feedback. It is the overview portion again, the rationale and purpose and your team. Okay. I look forward to reading those and giving you some feedback on them. You should be working hard on your collaborative data analysis for the CNA and the OA, as well as starting to think about that family community engagement plan. Please write to me with any questions or concerns that you have. I'm available to Zoom as well as Dr. Bull, and we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great week.